Welcome to the weekend, everybody. Let's get it going with NBA action on 2K Sports. I'm Kevin Harlan. Next to me in the booth are Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. Now a chance to check out tonight's starting lineups. And guys, what are we going to be looking for in this one from David West?
Guys, he's extremely difficult to cover on the low block. He's skilled, he's got a lot of moves he can go to, and he keeps the defense off balance.
And he really is a tough guy to go up against because he throws his weight around so often and with reckless abandon. I mean, it can really wear you down physically.
This Boston crowd ready to roar in this Eastern Conference matchup for the Celtics. This game against Indiana, the first time they've met this year. They controlled everything in both games last year, going 2-0.
Yeah, a very familiar opponent. They've played these guys an awful lot over the years, and this is the first of their 4 get-togethers this season.
3 on the clock. Here's Rondo. The feather touch on the finger roll. Beautiful. Rondo's got his team on the board to start the game for the Celtics. About 1 minute into the first quarter. A lot of familiarity with these two teams. Steve just kind of touched on. Clark, do you think it really does impact the rest of their matchups later in the season?
Absolutely, Kevin. It sure does. I mean, because for the winners today, they now know what game plan brought them success. So they've got a blueprint for the next meeting. For the losers, it's back to the drawing board for adjustments.
Strong rebounding, and he's rewarded with the easy putback.
Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
I was able to speak with Frank Vogel for a minute. He said that they weren't going to try and be overly aggressive with their defense and not take too many risks that can burn them. He said in a first meeting like this, you don't want to beat yourself by over-planning. We know we have a smart defense, and we'll see if they can unlock it first before we start adjusting. We'll find out if they need to do that soon enough.
Great, Doris. Thank you. It's not too uncommon to have that defensive focus being foremost in the game plan, is it?
Well, that's who they are, Kevin. That's their identity as a ball club. And so every game they start out thinking, let's shut the opponent down.
And not with just any kind of defense, guys. I mean, they want to get up into you, nose-to-nose, aggressive, in-your-face defense. Well, I tell you what, the Pacers did a lot of good things last year. Defended well, protected the rim and their home court. And really, the one area for improvement is probably the road record. They could get better in that area.
Down to 5 on the shot clock. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. Well, Clark, as you said, the Pacers didn't play as well as they had hoped to on the road for a team that won the division. They were 19-21 away from Indianapolis, and Steve, not the kind of record they wanted to end with.
No, but if you're around 500 then you can control your home court, you're going to have a good season. And that's exactly what Indiana did. They ended up with the 3rd seed in the East, and all in all, a terrific year.
Guys, the Celtics went from being a powerhouse in the East and middle of the pack last season, but they still protected their home court as well as anybody. Easy to find inspiration here with the parquet floor under your shoes and the banners hanging over top.
Now here's Granger, and he just worked New York in that last game, and it's Hibbert missing. Outside Rondo. Passes it to the kid. That's tipped. West with the steal. Rondo against Granger. The feed to George. Watson with it. He's coming off a 28-point game against the Knicks in New York. Outside, George. And David West, the bucket on the assist by George. West has got his 2nd basket of the night. You do have to love the parquet floor here, as you said, Clark. The pride certainly a factor last season, as the Celtics were able to finish, Steve, with a 27-13 record here at their home.
And even though the Celtics would end up just as the 7th seed in the East, you knew they would control their home floor just because of their veteran experience, their talent, their coaching. So they were really able to ride that home court into the playoffs.
It was certainly a slow start to the season for the Pacers. Their veteran and leading scorer, Danny Granger, was on the shelf with a knee injury, but somehow this team found its identity around defense and the emergence of some younger players that may serve them well going forward. You get Danny Granger back with the young, emerging talent. This team should contend for a while.
Teams value the 3 so much nowadays. Let's check out the best at it. Number 1, the Pacers. Rondo off the pitch from Bass. Outside Rondo. And they double up Rondo. Bradley passes to Bass. West is there. Takes the turnaround J. That one off the back iron and out. And Granger was able to come back for them for a stretch during the regular season, but eventually had to once again miss the rest of the games. But the team had grown to where, you know, that probably didn't derail them, as it might have, Steve, in the past.
Well, the big thing with the Pacers, Kevin, is that they have a lot of depth now across the roster. And with the emergence of Paul George, who kind of took Granger's spot, they were able to move on pretty well without him.
Speedy backcourt of Rondo and Bradley. Get out there with Brandon Bass. And it's Green in at the small forward. That's who's in the game for the Celtics. 5 to shoot. The drive by Rondo. And it's good with time running down on the shot clock. Rondo's got 9.
How about that, going up strong? I mean, he doesn't care how much height he's giving up. It's attitude with him. You know, there aren't too many drive and dish point guards out there anymore, but Rondo is the epitome of that type of guard in the NBA. He is always looking to make a move and create space for a teammate, and his assist totals reflect that.
Granger left side. Granger left side. Green with the block, and they'll keep possession. And they'll turn it over. Could not get off a shot. 24-second violation. Mahinmi's checked in for Indiana. Scola comes in for David West. And let's now go to the sideline. We'll catch up here with Doris Burke. Doris?
Thanks, guys. The kid in their last game against the Spurs made a big difference. He picked up 5 points, and the basket seemed pretty big to him. He didn't miss a whole lot all night. A bit of a surprise attack for him, as he is usually just regarded as a role player on his team.
All right, Doris. Well, what do you guys think? Does that kind of big performance energize a player in his next game, or has it, you know, like Steve, taken a toll physically?
I think it just depends on the individual, Kevin. Probably depends on you know, how he's feeling physically overall. But usually a guy who has a big night like that, it's going to carry over just the confidence. It'll carry to the next game.
Yeah, I would not disagree with you there, Steve. There's something about confidence in this game that really fuels you and energizes you. When you performed well, then you feel like you can do it again and again and again.
Bayless off a pitch from Humphries. The drive by Rondo. And that comes off the assist by Jared Bayless. And that's 11 points for Rajon Rondo.
Well, it was a dismal start from the field for them in the first quarter, but they're finally starting to turn it around.
Well, I don't think it could have gotten any worse, partner. I mean, you figure they had all their bad misses out of the way and should be good to go now. The number of points they've scored in the paint already today is pretty eye-opening, Steve.
Oh, it's off the charts. It really is. And defensively, I mean, they have to start shutting down some of those lanes to the hoop.
The shot is off.
They've been strong on the boards. There's no disputing that.
That's what the box score says. Still anybody's game, though.
Granger misses.
That's not an opportunity he fails to convert very often.
Three-pointer. And that's not going to go. And a tight game here as we end the first half.
And now, brought to you by Sprint. This is the Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And the lights of downtown Boston. The scene as we welcome you back.
You know, you think of what a typical Eastern Conference team plays like, and you often think of the Celtics. I mean, they like to slow it up. They'll play hard D and take their fouls when they can. Still, the Celtics last year were just average when it came to playing the rest of the conference.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade for the second half of basketball. On the court right now for the Pacers. George and Granger on the perimeter. Down low, West and Hibbert. And it's Watson in at the 1 spot. Well, and back to the Celtics, even as you said, Clark, they do all the things most Eastern Conference teams do well. They just couldn't keep it together, Steve, to finish far above 500 in the East.
Well, losing Rondo was a huge part of it, as they had to adjust their entire offense midway through the season. And I think a lot of it, too, is the rest of the East has caught up to them, and time is finally catching up to them. Kevin, I love the intensity with which he plays at the defensive end. He's just impervious to picks and screens, fighting over the top, slipping through them. But whatever it takes, he's going to do for you.
And he is also so good at getting his hands on the ball without fouling when an opposing player is on his way to the hoop. That's a real knack. excellent hand-eye coordination makes that possible for him.
And George kicks it to West. Back to George. He dishes it to West. The jump hook, and he overshot that one, missing.
The defense did a pretty good job of closing off the middle once he got inside the lane. Well, you got to love the season from David West last year, coming off the ACL tear back in 2011. I think he's completely back as far as that injury is concerned. He was so good last year, particularly in the playoffs.
For the lead, and good on the basket. Hook it. 14 points for Rajon Rondo. Indiana trailing here. They are coming into this having managed to win against the Knicks in their last game.
You know, their percentage from long range that game was off the charts. It seemed like every time the home crowd got going, they just took the wind out of their sails with another three-point barrage.
Yeah, those bombs were really falling.
Watson kicks to Granger. And Boston with the rebound. And David West, Clark, the locker room leader for the Pacers last season, helped lead them all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, and a guy I know that you greatly admire.
Oh, my goodness. Love the way he does his work. I call him Real Deal 21. There's nothing fluffy about what he gets done, and he's so smart and so savvy in how he approaches the game, and really a lion in the locker room for the Pacers. That's why that team was so tough in many ways, particularly defensively.
Watson dishes to George. Hibbert kicks to George. That's good. George has got his second bucket.
That's the third bucket in a row from the paint. This defense needs to clog those lanes in the middle much more effectively.
Yeah, and until they do, the problems inside are only going to get worse.
Rondo kicks to Bradley. Back to Rondo. They set the screen. The kid, and it's good, coming on the assist by Rajon Rondo. Rondo's got 3 assists now in this one. Well, it was the Boston Celtics, their last game, a loss to San Antonio.
And Kevin, they put so much effort into the final few minutes of regulation in that game that they were pretty burned out in the overtime period.
Yeah, that's an excellent call by you, Steve. I thought there was a little bit of a letdown for them in OT.
The jump hook misses off the left iron.
And he's having all sorts of problems with his shot.
I'm not sure he even has a shot right now, Steve, to be quite honest. Not a reliable one anyway.
Let's check out what Doris Burke has for us.
Gentlemen, Paul George was the number 10 pick back in 2010. He's exceeded expectations and has now become a cornerstone player for the Pacers at both ends. George said, quote, "When I step on the floor, I feel like I'm the best player out there. Whether it's LeBron or Carmelo, defensively, I'm good enough to force turnovers and bring him to reality. Offensively, I want that pressure to be the go-to guy." Kevin, a lot of confidence, but he's got the talent to deliver on that ambition.
Unlimited potential, Doris. Thank you very much.
Yeah, he's still rounding out his game. He has all the physical tools he can.
Just over a minute played here in the fourth. The score now all even. Rondo's got 21.
I don't know who was supposed to be on him there, but clearly a mistake by the defense.
At the 2 and 3, it's Avery Bradley and Jeff Green. Then it's the kid, and it's Rajon Rondo. That's the Boston 5. Watson, the pass to George. 6 on the shot clock. Indiana needs to get a shot off. Hibbert gets the bucket. Here's the Celtics with the ball. They're on a 14-6 run. Rondo dishes to Green. Nice ball movement by Boston. Rondo with it. George picks him up. And the officials call over the back. A little too aggressive there.
Well, you like it when a guy goes hard to the boards, but you have to be smart. He went right over his back on that one. Not a good play.
I think he was just over-anxious that time.
Watson kicks to George. Gives him the lead pass. And the whistle blows as the basket counts. And a three-point play chance right here. One free throw coming up.
And at the offensive end, he's done about as much as they could have hoped for today.
And guys, let's get your take on the scoring breakdown so far for Indiana.
Well, they're taking high percentage shots in the paint. I like the way their offense is clicking.
It's been a hot shooting night for them, too. I mean, they've hit a lot of those mid-range jump shots.
The drive by Rondo. Outside Bradley. There's a screen. Oh, yes, the turnaround.
You know, when he scores buckets like that, Kevin, it just shows that he can bring some of that X factor for his team.
Watson, the pass to West. Granger. West dishes to Watson. It's George on the wing. All sorts of time. And misses it off the right side of the rim.
What was the defense doing there? I mean, he is not the guy to give an open look to, and yet they got away with it.
Bradley with the ball. Now guarded by Watson. Back to Green. From deep. An absolute pound from three-point range. And this game is tied up now. The Pacers have gone 3 of 6 in the field so far in the fourth quarter. A bit under 3.5 minutes have passed here in the fourth. And George with this stuff.
Incredible timing on the alley-oop.
He absolutely hammered it down.
That's the play we're going to remember when this game is all said and done.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Kevin, the head coach for the Celtics, had some instruction for his guys during that break. It's been a hard-fought game, and he just wanted to give his guys a chance to catch their breath, saying, listen, we're right there. Let's make a push right here, put some pressure on them. Let's come out swinging. Kevin?
Here is Watson. Pocket 6. On the wing, Granger. And Boston with the rebound. Rondo's got rebound number 5 here tonight. Jeff Green on the wing. Granger covering. The drive by Green. Green left side. Back to Rondo to take the lead. Offensive rebound. The kid and Hibbert with the block. Bradley kicks to Rondo. Back to Bradley. Here's the dish to Rondo. Pass to Bradley. Tries yet again. It's good, coming on the assist by Rajon Rondo. Rondo's got his 4th assist in this one. A minute 20 left here in the fourth quarter. Now Watson. Granger left side. Pass to Watson. Six to shoot. On the wing, George throws it up. Second chance shot. It's in.
Huge points.
That's beyond huge, Steve. I mean, they needed that bucket desperately.
Boston's gone 1 of 3 from outside the arc since we've reached the fourth quarter. And the pass to the kid. Oh, draws the hard foul, and he'll head to the line.
Great job. Taking it right at the defense. I like the aggressiveness.
Yeah, he left him no choice but to foul there.
And that hurts as he doesn't get the first one to fall. Trying to focus now on the second. No luck that time either. The Pacers have gone 5 of 10, 50% from the field. Yes!
Oh, man, he goes old school on us with the finger roll.
Here's Rondo. Absolutely critical chance right here.
Yeah, they need this one to go their way, Kevin.
Buries it. And he has brought them to within 2 points.
Well, Rondo has just been stupendous.
7-second difference, shot and game clock. Here is Watson. He's covered by Rondo. And West backs in. Fades and shoots. It's rebounded by the kid.
Good percentage shot, though. That's one they'll take any day of the week.
Rondo kicks to Bradley. Back to Rondo. There's the screen. And they call an illegal screen here.
You know, sometimes the intensity of the game can lead to brain-neutral plays like that, guys.
So it's the Pacers now. Back to Hibbert. And an intentional foul right there. So a close game sees Indiana take this one.
Tough loss tonight. You might even say the team took a collective punch to the stomach giving that one up. What are you thinking after losing a game that many people would say you should have won?
Come on. Come on. Gets even better.